Hello and welcome to another modern stream. The Reclaimer fanboy face is back, and we're gonna be trying out an interesting idea that somebody in my Discord brought up, and I decided to try out. This is of course Naya lands, but we have a slightly different spin to what we're trying to do here. So the original list had Reclaimers and Dryads, and the top end was of course Titanium Protector of Argoth. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to lower the curve a little bit, and we're not doing Dryad Valakut shenanigans any longer, but instead we have pound for pound more impactful cards instead. So we're going to be trying out Knight of the Reliquary, and an interesting one, which is Renegade Rallier. So the idea for Rallier is that, we turn on Revolt with our fetch lands, and then we can get anything from Ren and 6, Reclaimer, Ursa Saga, which is very, very interesting, one of our destroyed artifacts, including Suranor, Soul Guide Lantern, Shadow Spear, and Expedition Map. Of course, these are the ones that we can get off of Saga. And we're actually playing a couple of copies of Tarmogoyf being just a reasonable body. And with the changes that the metagame has been going through, Tarmogoyf feels like it's a lot better position than it was in the past, because a lot of people are just playing, just randomly artifacts and enchantments. Enchantments, of course, Saga. Saga naturally goes to the graveyard just whenever it goes to the third chapter, which also makes the Goyf a little bit bigger. And instead of going for the Chalice of the Void approach, which I have been playing in the past, we're still playing Chalices in the sideboard, however, but instead of going for the Chalice of the Void main deck approach, we are going back to Reclaimer. And this is, Reclaimer has been starting to show up a bunch in John's Saga lists, which is something that I tried in the past, but I was silly and I cut the monkey instead of cutting the DRC, so my list was not as good as the one that people are playing right now. But what's going on here is the problem with Reclaimer is Reclaimer dies, right? Like pretty much the issue that I had with my original Naya lands deck lists was the fact that Reclaimer ended up being... I had very, very few actual creatures, like very, very few cards that made my opponents and Holy Heats and Lightning Bolts good. So I would play a Reclaimer, and then my opponent would always have a removal spell for it, right? Because they're not using the removal spells or anything else. So the different thing here is that not only do we have a bunch of other threats, so if our opponent uses the removal spell on the Reclaimer, that means that they're not going to be killing our Goyf, that means they're not going to be killing our Knight of the Reliquary. But also Renegade Rallier can get back our Reclaimer as well. So even if our Reclaimer does die on turn 2, it is possible for us to get it back with Ren. With Rallier, sorry. Just like in all of this style of decks, we are usually playing some copies of Ren and 6. We also are playing Flagstones of Trocaire alongside some planes in Data Triumph, Basic, Sacred Foundry, and a couple of Turnpile Gardens. And then the rest of the cards in our deck either cast our spells or their utility lands, like the one of Ghost Quarter, one of Bojuku Bog, and one of Blast Zone. All of these we can tutor obviously with Reclaimer or with Expedition Map. So that's what we're going to be trying out. The sideboard includes what is one of my signature cards, the only human being playing Celestian Shaman Modern, that's me. The idea being, of course, that this is an answer to Death Shadow, an answer to Hammer creatures, and an answer to Murktide that doesn't get got by Chalice of the Void, since we're gonna want to have access to Chalice in all of those matchups. So having access to an answer to those big creatures that doesn't get got by Chalice is very important. We also have access to a second copy of Ghost Quarter, which again we can tutor with Reclaimer or Expedition Map, and then we can recur with Ren and 6, obviously. 2 copies of Force of Vigor and 3 copies of Endurance. These are just like my pitch green cards, my go-to. It's possible that I should have one more Force, like this card is obviously fantastic right now. Same thing with Endurance. All of these cards are just absolutely insane. I never leave home without them. They are in every single one of my green deck sideboards. A couple of copies of Engineered Explosives, answer to Death Shadow, answer to, not so much Monkey, but like it's nice to have, but answer to something like Alpine Moon and whatnot. Chalice of the Void, as I was saying, against not only all of these decks where X equals 1 is a good number, but also against all the decks where X equals 0 is a good number. That is, of course, your Cascade decks. And then Pine Needle as a 2-door target for Ursa's Saga, for the matchups where that is pertinent. And finally, 2 copies of Torpor Ore. This is for the 4-color Blink matchup and stuff like that. We don't really see Elementals anymore, but there is like the new Creativity deck that's playing, what's his name? That's playing Archon of Cruelty. So against those kind of strategies, Torpor Ore seems like a fine addition to the deck. And we're going to be trying this through a Modern League. If you're enjoying the content, of course, as usual, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And leave me a comment down below. I'll see you for round number 1. Alright, here we go. Yeah, fine hand. Pretty solid. Triple Ren and 6. And Lightning Bolt to interact on turn 1, in case we want that. Humans. Wow. That's a deck, I guess. That is a deck. So we'll just pass here. Yeah, because maybe they have Apparition game 1. I do get punished, however, if my opponent is playing Thalia, I guess. So that's something to keep in mind there. Hopefully we don't get Thalia here, because that would be kind of annoying, actually. Unsettled Mariner is basically Thalia with extra steps. Kind of annoying. I think it's going to be more important for me to hit my land drops than anything else. So I think I'm just going to go for Ren and just pick up my, my Wooded Foothills. And I think I am going to play out the Suranov right now. Next turn, I can play my Saga. Hold up Bolt to kill this. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have a way to pump an Esper Sentinel or something like that. That would be kind of annoying. But I'm definitely going to play out the Suranov right now. I don't think I'm playing around Apparition. Like, my opponent would be insanely far away from casting an Apparition here, right? Sure, they can battle it in, but we'll see how things go. That Unsettled Mariner is going to have to die, though. That Mariner is going to have to die one way or another. Because it's going to be super annoying otherwise. Okay, another Hierarch. Yeah, okay, so that kills my Ren. Which is not ideal. They do pump the Aether Vial. Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. That's bad news. That's bad news for us. Bad news for the home team. Imagine if we had been on the play this game, right? Imagine if we had been on the play. We would be in such better shape here. I'm gonna have to kill this right now, however. So Tarmogoyf. So we just passed the turn. We do have to pay the Unsettled Mariner tax, which is quite annoying, actually. Keep the Vial on 2. I'm probably going to have to bolt this right now. What's the better timing to do this? Your response to... Because next turn I'm going to have to, like, Ren plus Goyf, I think. Mantis Rider. If they have Thalia's Lieutenant, I am gonna be in a world of pain. Gonna wait till their attack, because, you know, I don't want them to trigger their Noble Hierarchs. They're still gonna trigger the Adeline. So Bolt there. Pay the tax. That dies. We take a lot of damage. 6, 7, 10, 11 down to 5. That's not good news. That is not good news. Do have this saga. So this means... Can I survive? I'm just dead to the Mantis, right? So we block there. So I have to play the Flagstones, because the Flagstone is actually a sick draw, because it allows me to suck something to the Surin Orb. So I can gain some life and try to stabilize. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a token so I can jump here. And I am gonna take 7 damage. They have something else. Whatever. Werewolf pack leader? Jeez. Alright. It's kind of sick. A couple of new additions to the humans deck. Well, I'm just dead on board now. We chomp. I wonder why they didn't vial that in, like they missed on a point of damage there, right? It's kind of brutal, honestly. I feel like if we had been on the play here, if we had been on the play this game, we would have won fairly easily. But we were always on the back foot because we were on the draw. So, explosives is nice. Celestia Charm's probably not gonna be worth it. We can cut Bojuka Bog. We keep on the interaction. Endurance is kind of interesting. I don't think it's where I want to go. I don't think it's where I want to be. Maybe cut a Rallier. We are on the play, so I think I want to keep all 3 Titanias. I may be wrong on that. Let's actually do this. That seems better. Maybe on the draw, I want to cut a Titania, because it's going to be, you know, just like what we saw. Though, to be fair, because we did have the Surinor, the Titania was kind of our only shot at stabilizing that game. And I think it's likely that we can manage to stabilize there if I make it to 5 mana, but obviously we just died the turn before, so pretty rough there. Let's see if game number 2 goes a little bit better. All right, can't keep the one under, unfortunately. We can keep this one. I think I'm gonna bottom. The Sacred Foundry? Yeah, because it's the one that I'm going to fetch. So, yeah. Because I definitely want to make sure that I draw a card off this run. Ancient Cigarette. The difference between being on the play and on the draw, right? Get that Sacred Foundry in there. Yep, that's a significant difference between being on the play and on the draw. Big yikes. We can use Rallier to ramp here, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. Let's see what my opponent's got going on over there. Unsettled Mariner. So I guess that I have to do this. So let's do white. Whoops, I know what I want to do. I'm gonna have to do this eventually. So I'm just gonna do it right now. If my opponent plays like a Mantis Rider and they kill my Ren and 6, we can still get it back with Renegade Rallier, which is pretty sweet. Seems like opponent's missing their land drop, which is good for me. So yeah, I mean, just the difference between being on the play and on the draw here. Imagine if my opponent had been on the play, they would have been able to get value from their Novel Hierarch. Like, we're looking at an entirely different game, right? So we're drawing a blank, which is not great, but it's okay. Could have ramped there if I wanted to. I think I'm just going to make a Saga token. Still unclear whether I'm going to block or not. Well, I guess it's all about where they attack, right? Because if they attack the Ren, this doesn't kill a Ren. So I just, you know, I'd much rather have the Saga token. Let's see what they got. If they have Thalia's Lieutenant, what happens if they have Thalia's? Well, they don't. But if they have Thalia's Lieutenant, then they buff this thing, and this goes down to 1. Probably still make a token. Let's see what this is. Thalia. No, okay. Dawnbringer Cleric. When enters the battlefield, just 1, gain 2, destroy target. Oh, whoops. Alright. Probably should have read the card before doing anything, huh? So let's fetch here. Play that. White 1 and this. Get back Saga. Plus. So go. So now we can block. We got a free block here, or we can just trade for this. Probably trading with this. Yeah, we should definitely have a 1/1 right now in play. You gain 2 life, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. Those are modes. Those are modes. It's kind of annoying, actually. Like, super annoying. Super annoying. So, take our block. Second red is nice. So, definitely killing this because my opponent's a little bit short on mana. I could play second Ren to kill the Noble Hierarch, but then I can't make a token. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the stab, say go. And we can get Shadow Spear. We can get Suran Orb. Titania is probably my best draw. And Baron Titania, Knight of the Reliquary would be pretty neat. It's definitely a little bit of dis-synergy between Ren and 6 and a Knight of the Reliquary, right? Like, one of them wants great cards in the graveyard, the other one is just like, nah, I don't want to. Also, in the past, I've been rather unimpressed by Yavimaya index like this, but I'm starting to believe that if I'm playing Knight of the Reliquary, Yavimaya is just a card that I have to have in my deck. Like, there really isn't a way around it. So my opponent attacked with both. Engineered Explosives would be a fantastic draw. Ren on 6 down. Another blank. Not too excited about, but we could expedition map for Blast Zone. Kind of like that. So we chill here. We're definitely playing the control game here. Definitely playing the control game. Now the question is, do I want to blow this Blast Zone up on x equals 1 or x equals 2? I think x equals 2 is the number, but the issue that I have with that is that it may kill my own Ren. Alright, what does my opponent do? Another Lieutenant Thalia. Well, that doesn't do anything, so it is fine. It's looking like I'm gonna blow this up on 2. Depends on how they attack. Like if they attack with this Esper Sentinel, just gonna take a nice little trade here. I mean, unless they have a way to answer my Blast Zone, I don't think I agree with a conservative attack here. Like everything's dying to the Blast Zone anyway, so yeah, this is just makes so much more sense to me. So this is gonna limit the damage that I take significantly, so I think I'm fine taking this trade. We would have gotten blown out by Dismember, but my opponent can't cast it because they play the Thalia pre-combat. Seems like they try to cast an Aether Vial, but hashtag sequencing. So we still have a planes that we can go fetch. So next turn we uptick Blast Zone here. Next turn we 1, 2, 3, 4 blow it up, then play Ren, play Saga. I think we're in okay shape. We want to dodge a Mantis Rider. I think anything barring Mantis Rider specifically, we're fine with. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down to 4 we go. So put a charge counter here. Don't think I need to do anything just yet. Blow this up. Play Ren. Plus on Saga. There's an argument for plusing on Blast Zone there. But the sooner that I get Saga going here, the better that it is for me, so. Good thing that they don't have the 3-1 flash. 3-1 flash would have been so much worse for me than this thing. Still want to dodge Mantis Rider specifically. Still want to dodge Mantis Rider specifically. Oh, please attack. Yep. The attack Ren? There's no way that's correct. Melee Mage. Yeah, it's not gonna do it here. Not going to do it. So now we're just gonna get back Blast Zone. I'm just gonna blow it up main phase, limit my opponent's mana. Mono Rens. So many Rens, so little time. So plus on Blast Zone. Play Blast Zone. Crack Blast Zone. Yep. We just start recurring Blast Zone every turn. I don't think my opponent can ever beat that. Sweet. Game number 3. Any changes now that we're on the draw? Endurance is kind of appealing, just because it has a pretty decently sized body for what my opponent is doing. Maybe Endurance is better than Tarmogoyf. I'm starting to believe that it's possible that Endurance is better than Tarmogoyf, because it's always going to be a 3-4 and you can block Mantis Rider, while Tarmogoyf... But Tarmogoyf is cheaper. Yeah, let's just skip this. Just skip this, and just make sure we don't get run over. That's going to be... all that is going to be about. Just not getting run over. This looks like a hand that gets run over, unfortunately. Probably gonna keep it anyway. Opponent does keep 7. Really hoping to draw Flagstones. Failed to do so, but that's fine. Flagstones is far and away our best draw. Got our wish though. We did not get run over. Definitely got our wish here. Melee Mage. I don't care about that one. Naming Renin 6. Yep, sure. You got it. So now we're just gonna have Reclaimer do Reclaimer things. Gonna sack this mountain for Flagstones. Next turn, play the Triumph. Sack Flagstones. Probably get another Flagstones. Generally, we could go get a Saga. You got me. No blocks. Aether Vial. If I have any untapped land off the top, I'm gonna blow up that Aether Vial. That one does it. So now we can do the Flagstones trick to turn this into a 3-4. I don't think I care. I care much more about ramping. And again, this Melee Mage is not really doing anything. Take 2. Sure. So get rid of that. Get Sacred. Get Temple Garden. Just gonna find another Flagstones here. Just popping off. I think we chill this turn. We got Reclaimer plus make a token. Next turn we store an Orb on Titania. And I don't think my opponent can really beat that. Deputy of Detention would be the only way that they can beat that, but you know, I don't need to make the tokens until I have to. So I think that this is just gonna be game. What do you got, opponent? What do you got for me? Even if they have Thalia's Lieutenant here, they just pump the Meddling Mage. They can't even attack because I just double block with Reclaimer on the Saga token. Monty's Rider is probably their best draw, still not good enough. Gonna take 4. And now we have infinite mana, which is a pretty nice thing to have. Let's go, Reclaimer. Just doing Reclaimer things. Just Reclaimer doing Reclaimer things. Man, I miss this card. I really miss this card. I love it so much. Let's get another Flagstones. Like, we're gonna have enough mana to activate and everything, so floating mana. Get Sudan Orb. 2, 3, 4, 5. Titania. Get Saga. Play a land. Pass the turn. Is that game, opponent? Is that game? Can we just say GG's here? How many 5/3s does it take to kill an opponent from 19? The answer is 4. We're gonna make much more than 4. We're gonna make much more 5/3s than 4. So the only way I can lose this game at this point is Deputy of Detention into Phantasmal Image. I think that's literally the only way that I can lose. There's no other combination of cards that I lose to here. Maybe like Dismember or something. Well, I mean, there's a Phantasmal Image. Nothing they can copy that matters. You were so close, opponent. You were so close. It's not quite enough, though, is it? On 1. Well, let's get started. Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing where we do things, you know. Sack that one. Gain 2. Sack that one. Gain 2. Sack. Sack that one. Let's sack that one. Let's suck that one. This is 4. Suck that one and maybe that one too. Yep. Boom. Titania Suran Orb. Feels good to be back, baby. Feels good to be back. Wanna know with classic Naya lands what's not to love? On the draw, I'm gonna keep this hand. It's a little bit on the awkward side because we do have turn 2 Ren, but we're playing against the Lurrus deck, so if my opponent's playing let's say hammer, this hand doesn't have the cheap interaction that I need. And if they have turn 1 Inquisition or something like that, they take my Ren, and then I don't have a way to enable Revolt. So that's kind of awkward. We do have Saga though, which is nice. Hopefully, hopefully this is black-red and this is not Grixis Shadow. Prismatic Ending. Another Rallier is not great. Actually, could be great. We'll just have to wait and see. It's not great as is, but like it only takes 1 fetch land to make just Rallier into fantastic. Swamp. So that makes me think that we may be looking at black-red as opposed to Grixis. Otherwise, they just have like a super awkward mana draw. They keep on top with the Surveil, which is very scary. Now, there's just no way ever that they don't take the Ren there. All of this dies to my Blast Zone though, so at least that part's cool. See what we draw. Tarmogoyf would be nice. Flagstones. I think I'm going to play my Saga here. It's a little bit awkward because like now I made my top deck a lot more awkward. But this is a blocker for the monkey, so they're only gonna get 1 attack in. And we can always just get Surin Orb with this anyway. And then this Surin Orb now enables my Renegade Rallier. But this just makes my opponent's mana kind of awkward, which is good for me. Would have liked to have drawn that one. Would have definitely liked to have drawn one. Okay, so it is Grixis. They just had an awkward mana draw. We are talking about Grixis. Hopefully they whiff on their land drop. If they miss their land drop, then they're going to have to use... They kept on top, so I'm assuming that they kept a fetch land. But if they whiff on their land, then they're going to have to use their red mana to kill my token, which puts them in a kind of awkward spot. Yep. Just running face first into this Blast Zone, huh? They saw the Blast Zone too. They been an iteration? Okay. Well, I mean, I don't love the fact that I'm about to be down 2 lands, but at least I managed to use my mana in a reasonable manner. And I'm going to have to activate Blast on main phase, which is a little bit awkward because it opens me up to getting dashed monkey. But if they dash monkey, then that's also kind of fine for me. Alternatively, I can just take it this turn. Inquisition. Yeah, let's... just gonna block the monkey. They can dress down here, kill this, and we take, I guess, lethal? Yeah. Take lethal. Alright. Okay, so, Endurance is good. Charm is good. Explosives and Chalice are both very good. Reclaimer can go. So can Lightning Bolts. So can go Squatter. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Tarmogoyf is kind of awkward. Like, it really doesn't work well with my game plan of endurance and stuff, but I think this is fine. Yeah, let's go with this. Charlie's looking pretty good in this matchup, and we don't have that many cards that are death to Chalice. Expedition Map, Shadow Spear, Soulguide Lantern, that's it. And those are there to be found off of Ursa Saga anyways. What do we got? Sure. Keep this. Those fetch lands are escaping me. Sounds kind of nice though. No DRC turn 1. Targeting me, so I'm assuming that there's gonna be a discard spell in my future. Hopefully it's a monkey, so I can just ending it. No, that's a Thoughtseize. Wonder what they take. There's honestly arguments for everything. There's an argument for taking the Rallier, there's an argument for taking the Endurance, Titania. Endurance is the pick. Interesting. Kind of awkward that Rallier doesn't get anything. Man, like those fetch lands, man. Where are my fetch lands? We do have Knight of the Reliquary to play. Just honestly not great. Just dies to Unholy Heat. Okay. So they're gonna name Saga, which puts me kind of in an awkward spot here. Can we draw a fetch land? If we draw a fetch land, I think we're gonna be in really good shape. That's a Chalice. Alright, so Prismatic Ending that thing. Play that. And here's a Chalice. And this Chalice makes my Knight of the Reliquary so much better. Shadow is beating me down, but if I can find an answer to it, fetch land, please. Easy fetch land there. I'm gonna play the Knight of the Reliquary here because it makes my opponent's drown not do anything. If I fetch to enable Rallier, then my opponent can drown the Renegade Rallier, which I'm not in the business of allowing. So now, sure, we take 6. Take 6 down to 10. But now we float mana, get Sudan Orb. 1, 2, 3. If they're gonna dress down, they have to do it right now. Meaning that we're still gonna be able to make a bunch of tokens on end step. Need call against command to get rid of this Suran Orb. And if they have call against command, they can have drown for the Titania or drown the lock or dress down. So I think this is nice. Unless they have engineered explosives. Explosives is the only card that matters from them. And it's not even clear that they brought it in. Yep. Here's the dress down. It doesn't really do anything. It just means that I don't get back my Ursa Saga. But this is going to get destroyed on end step. And then my knight is going to be back to be active, to be inactive. So, pass. I don't want to allow my opponent to use their Drown in the Lock there. Yep. Sweet. Game number 3. Game number 3. Changes. I imagine that my opponent is going to be a little bit more hip now, and they're going to bring in explosives if they didn't earlier. Does that mean I want to change my game plan? Like, for example, add a Tarmogoyfs. The thing about Tarmogoyf is that it just gets zoned by Dress Down anyways. I could bring in Peeling Needle to name engineered explosives, but that gets my own engineered explosives. Yeah, this is just fine. Let's just submit. Being on the draw is going to be a lot more challenging. I'm going to keep this hand though. DRC. I think I'm playing these explosives for 1. Just preemptively. Chalice. Doing this off of a Temple Garden. And next turn we're going to have the choice whether we want to... I think I'm going to play the Chalice, which means that if my opponent does have the engineered explosives, we are in really bad shape. But I think it's worth doing. Yeah, my opponent's kind of desperate here. They have to find Call Against Command or something. They're just iterating for no full value. Yeah, this Chalice puts them in a really, really rough shape. So now the question is, do I want to fetch here? I think so. This means that next turn I get to play Knight of the Reliquary, and it's going to be a 4/4. We can play it off the Ursa Saga. So get a Forest, 1/2, Chalice for 1. Still, my opponent cannot drown the Knight next turn, which is pretty good. Calling as Commander bust. It's kind of the only card that matters. And they have it. Alright. Good for them. Good for them. This also enables the DRC. So now they're going to hit a little bit harder. Here's my knight. She's a 5/5. 5/5 bigger than 3/3. But not bigger than Unholy Heat. Because that Unholy Heat card is messed up. We do have a couple of options here. Ooh, I have Bojuka Bog. That's real nice. Never mind. Never mind. Lurrus. Okay. Bog off the top. This kind of sucks if they have another heat. I could have waited one more turn and then the knight is gonna be a 7/7. Maybe that's better. I don't think so though. What tools do we have? We can go find Suranor. Or we can go find probably Shadow Spear. Probably Shadow Spear. Yeah, maybe I should have made a token this turn, and then next turn played a knight being a set. No, but then my opponent gets 2 turns with Lurrus, so that's just not a good idea. Just not a good deal. We're dead to double bolt or bolt plus K command or whatever. It's not really a big deal, but here comes Lurrus. The cool thing here is if I get to untap with this knight, we're just fine. So they need, like, if they find the heat off of these bubbles, it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so they have the heat in hand, otherwise they wouldn't be being in that heat, I don't think. Or they have dress down, maybe they have dress down. But dress down doesn't do it though. Okay. I am very confused by that. Okay. Black mana. Black red. Terminate. Huh. Interesting. So we got a couple of options here. I can bog my opponent's graveyard. I can get another Ursa Saga. I think I bog them. They still have the bubble though. So I'm not super excited about this. Gonna get Shadow Spear here. It's either Shadow Spear or Soul Guide Lantern. We're gonna go with the Spear, I think. We're gonna have to dodge 1 turn of removal. If we manage to dodge 1 turn of removal, I think we're gonna be fine, because then we get to... Oh, they're drawing 3. Yeah, we're not gonna dodge one turn of removal. We're not gonna dodge it, huh? Second DRC. Well, that dies the first one. Kept the card on top. Yikes. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. We have some sick draws though. We do have some sick draws here. Just like a random bolt for this Lurrus would be very good. Just a silly lightning bolt. This is again assuming that my opponent doesn't just have lethal, which they could. Just K command, bolt. Any of those things just kill me. That's a dead draw. That is a dead draw. So do I have to attack here? I attack, I gain 4. Up to 6. I think I have to attack. Then my opponent attacks for 3, I go down to 3. But otherwise I crack the explosives and the explosives blows up the Shadow Spear. So that's just, you know, not a good deal for me either way. So I'm technically not dead on board. But I'm pretty dead. Technically not dead on board, but still pretty dead. Maybe Titania saves me? I guess Titania could save me. No, never mind, because I just died to this. Endurance? Does Endurance save me? It's not it. All right, close game. Definitely a close game. See you for the next one. All right, look who that. Everybody's favorite companion. I'm gonna keep this hand though. Looks pretty solid to me. But almost to 6. We have some cheap interaction. We have Goyf as the turn 2 play. We have Saga. So an interesting question here would be, do I turn 1 Wooded Foothills? Because this means turn 2 I can play 1/2 Goyf off of this Saga. I think I'm still gonna try on 1/1. Play Triumph, pass the turn. I'll put almost to 4. Okay. So that means my opponent mulliganing solo means that I'm just gonna be extra conservative with my plays. Soul Guide Lantern. Huh. Well, funnily enough, I think I play this right now. And then I'm going to crack it. But I actively don't want to exile my opponent's land because that grows my Goyf. I'm probably going to do that on end step. Just to draw another card. Next turn I can Goyf. And the Goyf is going to be a 2/3 so it doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, which is nice. Yeah, I think I like this. And next turn I can, you know, Charm Goyf plus Prismatic Ending if I want to. Rogin Triumph. What does that mean? Black Cliffs? Alright. You've piqued my interest, opponent. What are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Turn 1, Rogin Triumph into Blackclave Cliffs. That explains why they mulligan to 4, because their mana base just does not function well. That's a nice pickup. This plays into Lightning Bolt, but I think it's fine. Because I really want to get this Saga going, and I want to get this Saga to pop off by the turn I get to cast Titania. So I think exposing this Knight to Bolt is fine. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but I'm pretty sure that it's fine. I mean, I guess I can Titania this coming turn. I can just Titania right now. Don't think I want to do that though. I'm just going to play a Goif and make a Saga token. We get to do this because Knight ramps me. Kind of feeling the lack of Yamimaya. I'm going to try to make room for Yamimaya in this deck list. Drowning the Lock. Just get a fetch land. Probably. Could also just bog myself. Doesn't seem like a great use of resources. I think this is a fine exchange for me. Just get an Arid Mesa. Go with his big boy now. Sabai Triumph. What the hell is my opponent doing over there? Okay, so now I'm just gonna get to resolve Titania. Titania by herself, just gonna win this game. So that's cool. That is cool. Green. Make a construct. Float a mana. Play Pseudonorb. Play Flagstones. Play Titania. Get back a fetch land. So I guess my opponent's playing like a Lurrus control deck of sorts. They can't really be playing Shadow because they're playing Blackclave Cliffs. So I guess it's just like a 4-color control nonsense with a bunch of ETB tap lands and non-functional mana. I did fetch for this, so maybe this does something? I'm kind of confused, honestly. I'm a little bit thrown off by the stuff that my opponent's doing here. 3 mana. I wonder what that is. Mardu colors. What do you got, Crazy Diamonds 513? Can you beat this? Each opponent sacks a creature, exile all of opponent's graveyard. Resolves. Can I take my turn now? Let me talk to you about this interaction right here, opponent. This is what we call synergy, right? You may be familiar with it. Some people call it a combo. Some people call it a combo. All right, so some sort of weird control deck of sorts. I think I definitely like endurances. I can see prismatic endings coming out. Maybe all of them, maybe. Because they didn't show me green. And I think that's key because that means that they don't have rain and 6 and they probably don't have something like bring to light and stuff. So that being the case, I think we do they could have Croxa though. So let's actually do something like this. Celestia Charm is interesting. Probably not good enough. Biting Needle also interesting. Probably not good enough. For a second I forgot that we had Riley in the deck. That's true. This card's kind of cool. Our mana curve is not the smoothest that I've ever seen. Just like casually 11 3 drops. Not the smoothest mana curve I've ever seen, but you know, we're trying. We're trying. All right, what is this? Turn 1 Reclaimer. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, it honestly just seems like my opponent's doing some sort of... just doing some sort of like Lurrus control stuff. It's nice. Finding a fetch on there is pretty hot. Not gonna lie. We can combo our fetch land with our red and 6. You see how this works? You see how this works? She saw that. Wow, my opponent's mana is greed. Their mana is greedy. Jeez. Don't tell me I'm about to get shadowed outed. I don't believe that you have shadowed out, opponent. You just don't have it. Don't give me this stop right here. Okay. I'll accept that. This is kind of interesting. I'm just gonna let's just start drawing cards with our red and 6. Let's just start drawing cards hitting our land drops. Next turn we're gonna be able to double a Reclaimer. I'm going to... They show me Kaya's Guile, so I'm gonna go... They just have Prismatic Ending. Sure. Not super stoked about that, but could be worse. Oh, wow. Pretty brutal, honestly. Pretty brutal if you ask me. Let's get Rallier. And we can get back Reclaimer or we can get back at land. I think I'm going to get back the land and I'm just going to deploy the Reclaimer from my hand. Play out Sudan Orb. This means that if I really need to, I can just sack both forests. And that gives me, that turns Reclaimer into a 3/4. So if my opponent attempts to like bolt it or something, we just have that covered. Next turn we get to play Saga. They could have just, you know, have Heat, no? Heat? My Renegade Rallier? Oh no, opponent. Oh no. My opponent doesn't respect the power of the Reclaimer. They just don't respect the power. Oh no, opponent. You're gonna get bodied by the 1-drop. Gonna get absolutely bodied by the 1-drop. Just too strong. Also, that Flagstone stuff looks pretty hot. No, not gonna lie, that Flagstone stuff, the top right there. Opponent's mana base is something else. My opponent's mana base is just chef's kiss. Look at that mana base. What could ever go wrong with that mana base? What could ever go wrong, right? So a couple of options here. I think I'm just going to go for another Flagstones because I have 2 Reclaimers. If they have double removal spell, sure, I get owned here, but it's pretty unlikely that they have a removal spell for both Reclaimers. And again, I can just scroll the Reclaimers up to 3/4, so Lightning Bolts don't even count. If this is a Kaya Skyle, that's just whatever. Nope. Got me. Now I have like infinite mana. I have 2 Ursa Saga going, so if my opponent does not have Dress Down, I don't think they can win this game anymore. If I go quarter this Rogue in Triumph, what happens? do they have a basic to go fetch? Do we think that my opponent has a basic to find? Black Wrath. Dashed Monkey. Oh no, opponent. Oh no. They don't respect the power of the Reclaimer. Just don't respect it. Opponent just doesn't respect it. No respect. No respect for the power of the Reclaimer. Another Flagstones. Could have gone to Saga there. But then I don't have the mana to activate both. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just gonna pass the turn here. Oh, I love Elvish Reclaimer so much. I love Elvish Reclaimer so much. Also, I love my opponent's mana base. Where's my Exile Zone? It says that my Exile Zone is popping up, but I can't see it. Anyways. Just gonna do some Reclaimer shenanigans, shall we? So sack this, get my last planes. Get a Saga. Make a token. And now we can sack the Saga that's about to die to get like a free construct. A free land, I mean. Ugh, that sucks. That is exactly what we were about to go fetch. Does that mean I just let this go? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nah, no it doesn't. Just too much value to give up. Maybe I should have gotten Bajuka Bog though, instead of another Saga. It's expedition map. Swing for 5. They could have dress down. Dress down would be kind of a beating, but also not really. Engineered explosives would be much worse than dress down, I think. Still not the end of the world. But it would be a lot worse for me. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what my opponent was trying to do over there. Very confused by their deck. Anyway, see you next round. Alright, another match of Modern, another companion. This hand's pretty good though. Playing against Kaheera, this could be elementals or more likely blue-white control. Could also be 4-color control. Seachrome Coast? I have no idea what that means. So my best draw is probably Ren. Ren 6 is the best thing I can find here. Get the Bajuka Bog out of the way. If they play something that I would like to bolt, we get punished here, but it's not super likely for that to happen. Stomping Ground. Here's a knight. If this knight doesn't die, we can Titania next turn, which should probably lock it up. I think I'm just going for it here. Float mana, sack this, find Saga, play Titania, get back Foothills, so you go. Was that a good turn? was that an okay turn? Maybe it was a fine turn. Oh. So that's what's up. Okay. Well, that's kind of a problem. 6 plus 10, 16. Never mind, it's not a problem. We'll just have lethal. Oh no, I don't have double red. Whoops. 6, 16, 19. Oh no. Wrong fetch. Whoops. I didn't even think about the fact that I could have lethal here. A prismatic ending. The token. Oh, so I can swim for 16. Second main phase, prismatic ending the token. 1, 2, 3. Renegade Rally or get back a fetch. Kill them. Alright, we found the line. 1. Oh no, you have to be kidding me. I still don't have it. Damn it. Oh man. Oh, that's so bad, man. That's so bad. I'm gonna lose and this is gonna suck. Oh, I can't believe this. Oh, that was so awful. That was so awful. I did not even think about the fact that I just did not have enough red mana. Maybe they'll fetch. Maybe they'll take 1 point of damage somehow. Or maybe they'll just concede. I'll take that too. Okay, so they're playing some sort of what's his name? Lotus whatever deck. So these can go. These can probably go. I definitely want Blast Zones Bujugibog in the deck, I think. And we have our interaction, we have our ways to kill them. Is there anything else that could potentially matter? I think it's just the chalices. Maybe the force? The force could matter. The force could definitely matter for breach. Something like this. Yeah, gonna keep this in. That was so bad, man. That was so bad. I did play that game one like garbage. Luckily, they did not get punished. Spire Bluff Canal. Yeah, my opponent definitely has got some Underworld Reach shenanigans going on over there. Here's my Reclaimer. They got Flagstones too. Flagstones mirror match. Play land, say go. Blood Sun. F. Sure. It's kind of a yikes. So the fetch lands don't do anything anymore. So I guess the only thing that matters are my colors. So I'm just gonna find Stomping Ground. My Ursa Sagas don't do anything. But at least my Knight and my Reclaimer are pretty large. So that's cool. Also, I just realized that they're not playing a combo deck. They're just playing the Spike deck. Sure. So yeah, completely different archetype than what I was expecting. I was expecting Lotus Field combo. Why did I think that they were Lotus Field combo as opposed to the Spike deck? I don't remember. Like, this makes so much more sense. So we can swing for, this is 8, and I can use Saga to go to the bin. And then get back another land. So take 9. 1, 2, 3. Rest in peace. Okay. Hey, that's nice. So 3, 6, 7. Opponent down to 1. Yeah, bringing it down to 1 seems reasonable to me. They want to force a vigor coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Memory Deluge. I don't think there's any 2 cards that you can find for 0 mana that can get you out of this. I guess double Fury or like Fury plus Solitude. Yeah, very unlikely. All right, sweet. I can't imagine that's a good matchup for us, so definitely things line up the best possible way for us. Awesome. Another round, and you guessed it. Yes, Lurrus is here. His hand seems fine. Let's keep it. So, turn 1 stomping ground here. Play Shadow Spear. Hopefully next turn we get to play a Ren. Yep. So this probably means that it's black-red, which should be a significantly better matchup than the other one. I'm gonna save that fetch land for Rallier. So here I'm just obviously gonna kill the monkey, and then my opponent's very likely going to either hit the monkey or whatever, and then next turn I can go fetch land into Rallier, into, you know, kill monkey, another monkey or whatever. But yeah, obviously I'm a lot more excited to face the black-red deck than I am to face the Grixis deck, because Dress Down is kind of good against Ursa Saga, you know? maybe Dress Down is okay against this. All 4 bubbles. The other day I sold my playset of bubbles, which I had had for like 5 years or something. And I sold them for like 170 tickets or something ridiculous. Because they were like the ones from Cold Snap or whatever. Could not believe it. Definitely was a lot of tickets. Okay. Gonna cycle Destroy him on my end step. Which is nice because it gives me something to do with my mana. My best draw is probably Renegade Rallier? Monkey? I think this is just not a good play for my opponent. They're stuck on mana, and this just means that they're not really pulling ahead on mana. They're just kind of like spinning their wheels. Oh, okay, never mind. It is a little bit better now because they had the ETB tap land, but still I think that it would have been better for them to just chill. Okay. I'm gonna save the knight until next turn, I think, where I can play it above Unholy Heat range. It's bad if they have a discard spell, but you know, you can't beat them all. Dolphy Voidwalker. Okay, I guess we have to do this right now then. Because otherwise the land does not go to the graveyard, right? Yeah, I guess there's no need for me to do anything here. I'm gonna get Soul Guide here. Probably gonna get some other stuff with the next saga. So now their heat is not enabled, and we have Soul Guide, so it just will not be enabled, which is pretty nice. This card would kind of suck. Prismatic Ending, my Shadow Spear. It's fine. Huh. Alright. Alright, that's all of their cards. That is all of their cards. Oh, come on. The good thing is they have no fetch lands, so... So I can exile this, play Rallier, and then get back a fetch land. One, two, three. Exile their graveyard. Play Rallier. Get back fetch. Oh, I should have gotten back Ren! Yeah, that would have been so much better. Whoops. That's right. That's why we have this guy in the deck. Because that's an interaction. Because that is an interaction. Get back the Sandbag Canyon here. I'm honestly surprised that they don't get back the Mire there. They're kind of stuck on mana a little bit. Imagine they take the Prismatic Ending here. Maybe they take the Knight if they don't have an answer. But the ending answers the Dottie. Yeah. Take the ending. I'm probably gonna make some tokens anyway. I'm not gonna play this guy out. This gal out, I guess. Forest. Untap. It's not bad. Suranor. Wait. Did I make a construct on my end step? Did it just brain fart this badly? I could have sworn that I made a construct on my end step. Well. I guess there's that. I think we're making a construct here. My opponent can now get back. They have a lot of options to get back. Saga, Soul Guide Ending. I kind of threw this game. Damn it. Just not gonna have time to get value from that Knight. I totally assumed that I made a construct on their end step. Like, that was the whole point. Like, I don't think they killed it. Huh, very confused about the whole thing. So their hand is Sunbaked Canyon, Unknown. This turn we finally get rid of this guy. I wonder if my opponent is just trying to figure out whether they should be... They should be attacking, or... Okay, they're attacking. This is great for me. That's very good for me. Because now I get to, you know, upkeep, kill this, then the Saga. They're trying to race me? I don't think they've read what Suranor does, huh? I don't think my opponent has read what Suranor does. That's a good draw. Make a token. Oh, I also missed lethal here. Whoops. Sack that. Never mind. Never miss lethal. Just attack for 10. Easy game, easy life. Forgot that I still have the expedition map. I thought I had run out of fetchable targets. Maybe I should bring in Python Needle so I can name my opponent's Ren and 6s. So, Endurance looks fantastic. Bring that bad boy in. Think we're cutting Reclaimers. Cut Ghost Quarters. Bring in Chalices. Maybe on the draw I just need to keep both Lightning Bolts. It's kind of questionable. I'm gonna keep this hand. Like, we're on the draw, we're playing 28 lands. And if I hit any land, this hand is just incredible. Even something that's kind of a whiff, like Ursa Saga, just works out just fine because I get to chalice them. It's a land. That's a whiff, I mean. It's definitely not a land. Goif is kind of big though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. Okay. I'll bite. Land. Easy. And I think I'm going for Chalice here. Maybe they have prismatic ending, but if they ending the Chalice, they don't end the Goif. Colonist Command is obviously a blowout, but that's exactly what they have. Oh, prismatic ending. Okay. We find another fetch land, we're going to be in really good shape. Never mind. I am very surprised by that. Like, they have a Dothy and Thoughtseize. Like, that's a combo. They steal my Titania. They play Titania. Yeah, I don't think my opponent knows what's up. I don't think that they know how their cards are supposed to work. Play that. White. Renegade Rallier. Get back Ren. Ren plus. Pass the turn. This guy's definitely annoying. This guy's definitely annoying. Lurrus to hand. Alpine Moon. It doesn't do anything at all. So next turn, I guess we're just gonna have to endurance to prevent Lurrus from doing stuff. They keep going face. Neminur Sasago with Alpine Moon. So here's 3 damage. So this forces a trade the next turn. So by pinging over there, what I did is now my opponent has to either attack the Ren, which means that I win the race pretty easily, or we can use the other Ren ping to force this Lurrus to trade with my Renegade Rallier. Keep going face. Yep. All right. Maybe they have Lightning Bolt in hand. So they do take the trade. Opponent stats at 7. So we're dead to Lightning Bolt. Not much we can do. And by pinging there again, even if the knight is a 2-2, we still get to kill them. All right, somehow got there. 4-1. 4-1. Let's go. All right, here we are wrapping up this this league. We have to be honest, you know, we got a little bit lucky in a couple of those matches. Like, because the control deck, things, you know, didn't line up for my opponent. Against the black-red deck, I guess it was Mardu, technically speaking. Against the Mardu deck, they, like, their cards just did not do anything. Or, like, they didn't know that they could, you know, Thoughtseize my Titania. So we did get a little bit lucky there for sure. But a 4-1 is it gives us hope, you know? Definitely it's exciting to see the 4-1. I did make a couple of mistakes. I'm not used to playing with this card, and a couple of situations I could have done some more optimal things, but nevertheless, the card was better than I was expecting, honestly. Like, the fact that we're getting such high powered cards whenever we do enable the Renegade Rallier shenanigans, it's kind of a big deal. Like, it really makes this card into so much better than it looks. So because of that, I'm very interested in continuing going down this route. The card that disappointed me the most, more honestly speaking, is Knight of the Reliquary. She didn't really do too much for us, and I did kind of feel the dis-synergy between, you know, Ren making it so you don't have stuff in your graveyard, and then the Knight wanting you to have stuff in your graveyard. In a couple of situations, it just came down and she was huge. So, like, the card is powerful, obviously, but I don't know if that is exactly the tool that we need for the job here. On the other hand, Reclaimer was fantastic just because it works so much better with the mana curve that we're working with, because, you know, we can stack Flagstones, which Knight of the Reliquary can't do, by the way. So I feel like if I want to continue going the Knight of the Reliquary route, I have to have Yavimaya in my deck, which I'm not too excited about. Like, it's basically just a basic forest that you know, is not really a utility land, and it's like I'm not super excited about having Yavimaya or having to make room for Yavimaya. I'd much rather have access to fetch lands to enable my Rents and Ralliers and shenanigans like that. Speaking of, I kind of want to have access to one more fetch land. I think it would make my Ralliers a little bit more reliable. But nevertheless, the card was pretty solid. Very interested in continuing down this route. The fact that we can use Rallier to ramp is also kind of a big deal. I'm wondering whether we want stuff like Explore or whether we want to keep it like so, where we are, you know, just sort of maximizing on interaction with Prismatic Ending and Bolts. Maybe we want more Bolts. Maybe we want more Tarmogoyfs to make the curve a little bit smoother. That's another thing that I would consider for sure. Just like, you know, go down to Knights and go up to Goyfs and kind of see how that goes. Goyf wasn't insane, to be honest, in this league. Like it didn't grow as quickly as I wish it did, but it's fine. Like it's just an okay card. The fact that we don't have Discord spells means that it doesn't grow at a ratio, you know, as fast and strong as it does in the Jund versions of decks like this. But you know, Titania just like it's a fantastic top end, so super excited about this. Um, yeah, lots of tweaking to be doing with this deck list, but definitely a 4-1 gives me hope and gives me kind of like the incentive that I need in order to continue working on this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you let me know in the comments what you would change, what stuff you think would make sense to try to add, and we can try some stuff out maybe. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next Modern video. Take care, and bye-bye.